Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Haley Carbajal. I am a starseed coach and mentor, been an energy healer, a channeler, and now I'm a coach. So I've been doing this for a long time now, and I am here just creating free content to help you get through this. And so get through this spiritual journey, right? I think my expertise really lies in that belief work, being able to help you specifically identify what beliefs are keeping you stagnant so that you can move past those. So today I really wanted to give like an Aquarius moon survival guide. So I am not an astrologer. However, I'm going to link in the description down below an amazing astrologer which inspired me to make this content for you. Because while my expertise is not in astrology, my expertise does lie in understanding thyself and getting through that shadow work, purging the old so that you can embrace your new and step onto your highest and best, most divine timeline. Okay. So I have some notes here and I'm just going to give a brief overview of kind of what's going on, but I won't have the specifics. So if you're looking for the astrological specifics, I recommend looking at Rewilding with Sabrina down below. Okay. But what's going on is that we just finished up Lionsgate, right? And Lionsgate was all this abundance of light and downloads and understanding and putting in wishes to be fulfilled. And with this full moon in Aquarius, right? So we asked for all of these things, and the full moon in Aquarius is essentially saying, or creator is saying, yes, you can have all of those things, but here is all the stuff that is going to be holding you back if it's not addressed. This is a whole point in time where we are being called to look within and really find out our true authentic selves. So like, and beyond like I'm just am my authentic self, it's actually deeper than that. It's like taking a microscope and being like, where are the places that you've actually been hiding your power or your light? Where are the places that you've been giving your power or your light or your attention to outside of you that now has this unconscious power over you? This is a moment in time where we are being asked to release all of the information that is not congruent with us or is no longer pertinent to our soul's mission and purpose. This is really about finding out where that personal fulfillment is, what gets us juiced, what we refuse to live with anymore, what we refuse to identify ourselves as, or what we refuse to engage with anymore. And so it may, if you're feeling chaos and confusion and anger and frustration, and you feel like you're all over the place, then you're actually exactly in alignment. And I want to help you right now get over all of that or work through all of that so that you really can receive that wish fulfillment that you asked for during Lionsgate. So yeah, let's just dive in. So this is the time to go inward. I talked a little bit about that, but I just want to touch on that a little bit. So we're going to go over the what's going on, what are the symptoms you might be experiencing, what is the mindset you need to have in order to get through this with the most amount of success and ease and grace. And then I'm going to walk you through 5 different exercises that you can do to help you with this. So this is a very practical, tactical video that I have for you today because I just want to serve. So it's time to go within and really nurture yourself. These, because full moons kind of take up like a 2-week period. So, like a week before the full moon, a week after the full moon, you'll be feeling this chaos, this disruption within, this being really triggered, not feeling like yourself. And so, I'm not, self-care can look like a lot of things to a lot of people. But that's up for you to decide. And really, I want to get over like, because I know self-care people are like rolling their eyes like, okay. But really, what we're talking about is self-nurturing. So, like, being able to hold yourself in a blanket or in a cocoon of love and rock back and forth and say it is okay, or say that everything will be fine, or you do what you need to do to make yourself happy, right? That's the kind of self-care I'm talking about. It might be beneficial for you to kind of go into a space of self-isolation. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that like you totally cut off from your family or your life and then it's like you're gone for 2 weeks, unless that works for you and you have the time to do that. Fuck yeah, do that. But more like maybe taking a half an hour or taking some time in the morning or finding some alone time throughout the day. And then as you need alone time, make the arrangements to do that. But I think that because the reason why it's so important to go within and sit in silence or sit with yourself is because when we're getting this external stimulus from our loved ones or from coworkers or from just external stimulus from anything in our life, it's a distraction from the internal world within, right? We're responding mentally to everything that's going on around us. And so that's why that inward self-isolation, self-reflection is so important, because the moment that we're actually sitting with ourselves is finally the moment where we actually get to process what the hell is going on within, right? Because like I said, all of this external stuff can be very distracting. So this is the time for you to be brave, and we'll talk about the mindset in a little bit, but this is the time for you to be brave and find time for yourself as you need it in the healthiest way to, make these changes happen. Another thing that actually was just coming through, because like I said, I'm a channel. Another thing that was just coming through is I want you to pay attention, like, because I want to go over exercises, but I want you to pay attention to who you're being. Okay. Because really, it's not the tools that you use that make you enlightened or not enlightened, heal you or don't heal you. The tools are actually what, Bashar calls as permission slips. They just give you permission to allow you to, as a tool to allow you to recognize or embody more of who you are. So, sometimes affirmations work for others and some don't. So I want you to kind of take inventory of what your regular alchemy or transmuting practices are. And it's really important to pay attention to who you're being while you do it. So if you're being in a space of force, if you're being in a space of I want to get over this, if you're being in a space of I don't want to go, I don't want to go through this, or maybe even if it's a form of escapism, you're not going to be as effective. I want you to pay attention to who you're being. And who you're being, we want to focus on feelings of, even though we might feel a little bit distortion, which I'll talk about in a second with the symptoms, but even though we might feeling a little bit of internal discord or disruption, it's not like this panicking, anxious, like, holy shit, I need to get rid of this now. It's more like I'm going to sit with myself in love and compassion and patience and be curious about what's coming up. It's more of this level of detachment where you're observing you, but really, if you take it to the next level, you are the observer that is observing you. And you don't take on the emotion as your own. Like if you're feeling angry, or yeah, if you're feeling angry, it's not this I'm an angry person. It is this mentality of I'm experiencing anger, right? For example, you're sitting in a room right now, or you're sitting somewhere right now, or you're standing somewhere right now. You know that you are not the room, right? You're just within the room, or you're within the car, or wherever you're listening to me. We have to make that differentiation. Okay. So it's time for self-isolation, self-reflection, but not in a place of judgment, because when we judge ourselves or judge our point on the journey or judge whatever's coming up, it actually can cause a lot. It just creates unnecessary pain. Let's just leave it at that. And trust me, I know, because I've done it the wrong way hundreds of times before, right? Um, you will have this strong, compelling need to detox. So some of that will be actual physical detox, or you'll be kind of looking at your health and like, does my liver need a detox? Does my kidneys need a detox. You're going to be wanting to detox physically, but also you're going to want to detox emotionally. And even on a relationship level, you'll be like, nope, this ain't working, cut, this ain't working, cut, this ain't working, cut. You're going to want to cleanse your aura. You're really going to be hypersensitive or feeling like overwhelmed, and you know that you just can't take on that extra energy right now, and I want you to know that that is okay. Obviously, we do everything out of honor for another person and out of respect, and never out of fear or unhealthy habits or reasons. So again, be mindful of who you're being. There's a difference between cutting a cord because you're pissed off and your ego's hurt, and then cutting a cord because just for now, like, you still love and honor the other person for who they are without wishing that they were different, but you know that right now that this is just not something you can engage in, and that is okay. And there's nothing wrong with them, there's nothing wrong with you. Everything is solid. It's just what's highest and best for you at this time, right? And then I want to remind you that you can't think beyond what you feel. Okay, this is going to be really, really, really important. So I guess we can kind of step into the mindset aspect of this, of how to get through this Aquarius full moon survival guide, right? Um, you can't think beyond what you feel. This is a Dr. Joe Dispenza quote. He is a neuroscience who talks all about manifestation and rewiring your brain and becoming a new version of you. I would totally recommend checking out his work if you haven't already. But he has discovered that literally your nervous system is not open to receiving any type of information, external or internal, that is not aligned with the emotion that you're feeling right now. And so, because this is a purging that's coming through, Sabrina calls this the purge of 2024. Okay. Because this is like a really deep purge about us, about our limitations, the way we've been limiting ourselves, the way we've been hiding ourselves, the way that we've been distorting ourselves, the way that we've made ourselves malleable, or the way that we've been, in too much power or in too much ego, or all of that, right? Because this is about us, it's going to feel very personal. And one of the key things here is to not take the internal world so personally, because it is coming up. See, let me give you a visual representation. Watch this video here. So as you can see, everything is just coming up to be released and purified. And this light is coming in to purify you. But with this light coming in to purify you, it's taking all the stuff in the underworld and the darkness and just whoo, bringing it all up to be released. So it feels intense. It feels intense. But remember, when you're going through extreme levels of emotional intensity, that means you're on the other side of a breakthrough. One quote that can help you through this. I don't know if you would like to write this down or find a way to anchor this in somehow, but what came to me was, the greater the pain that I'm experiencing, the greater the clarity on the other side, right? So every time that I remember, because sometimes I go into it, right, where I'm feeling all of the feelings and then I forget some of my practices. But when I wake up and I'm like, oh shit, this is actually serving me. Oh shit, this is uncomfortable for a reason. This is good. This is juicy, right? Then in that face of that density or that discomfort, or the parts of yourself that you might have demonized or deemed wrong or bad or not possible or whatever have you, right? As it pertains to you, as it comes up, it's like a moment of gratitude, because it's like, thank you so much for this coming up. And let me tell you why. Okay. So everything that's going to be coming up is going to be coming up from the subconscious. Okay. Our subconscious holds on to things that have always equated to our survival. Right. And so because we ask for all of these beautiful things in Lionsgate, Lionsgate is still pouring the light down into the glass so that all of the dark stuff that we're being faced with now can be purified and let go. And so when this emotional intensity comes up, it's because this subconscious program is coming up to the edge of the glass so that it can be identified and released. So that it's because if it was still had as much power over you, it would still unconsciously control you. It would it would be something that you couldn't identify. It'd be something that you couldn't call out. See, where we get things get sticky in the shadow work if we're not aware of this. So please, if you take anything from this video, please take this. Okay. I've taught hundreds of clients of this. And when those who have applied it apply it, it fucking changes their lives. But when that is coming up and you're consciously aware of a program or a belief you have, it is so important for you to realize that you are actually at the tail end of it, that you are in the finishing stages of letting it go. It is only when we get emotionally discouraged or emotionally hurt by this emotion or by this thought or belief or pattern that keeps it alive, because when we get discouraged by it or we get upset by it, we're actually claiming that we still believe that to be true about ourselves. And therefore, it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just jump back into the subconscious again, right? Or it'll keep coming up because it's like, hey, dude, knock, knock, knock. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. So why don't you just stop being triggered by me and let me go? Because something new is trying to arrive, right? When we let go, then we allow for the new things to come in. I think this is like very generic knowledge, that is at least. So when that statement, so when the old things are coming up, detach from it. Don't make it personal, because it's actually leaving because it doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. And you don't want anything to do with it anymore. Okay. It's a gift that is coming up. So going back to you can't think beyond what you feel. Don't trust everything that you're thinking and feeling. Do not trust everything you're thinking and feeling. Instead, just be open and curious about why it's coming up, or what is it trying to show you that you can move past. Like, how is this a gift? We don't want to go in the victim mentality here. We want to go into the self-empowering, self-love, self-compassion mentality. Okay. So it is so important that you are mindful of the way that you are defining the things that are coming up. Okay. I spoke a little bit about this already, but I wanted to really make sure because that you understand this, because this is like the little simplest thing that everybody overlooks, and then it complicates their life by fucking 10,000%. And then they go into sabotage mode. I've seen it 1,000 times. And they forget this little thing because it's so simple that people don't think it's effective, but because of its simplistic nature, it is one of the most effective. So if an old belief is coming up, instead of getting discouraged and making it mean that you haven't, ascended, or that you're afraid that you'll live like this forever, or you're afraid that things will be like this forever, or that you'll never be able to get over this, instead of defining it that way, which will then make it true, it will make it true. Look at it as the way that I just described. The real true intent of this is that it is coming up to be consciously released, so that that is an unconscious program that no longer controls you. It's always a gift. It is always a gift. We should be like getting so juiced. We should be so happy when triggers come forward, because triggers, even though they're uncomfortable as fuck, they are so important to our freedom, to our spiritual sovereignty, emotional sovereignty, to our to manifesting and creating anew. Okay. Okay, so let's go into some exercises. So this is like, we need to have this mentality that there is nothing that is within me that I cannot love, because love is a neutralizer. Love is the only way that you will be able to get through this. Not self-blame, not self-shame, not others blame, not others shame, not avoidance, not judgment. Okay. This is going to require a lot of discernment, self control, observation, compassion, patience, and love. So I just want you to even write that down where it's like, there is no aspect of me that I cannot love. There is nothing within me that I cannot alchemize with love. Whatever I am facing right now, whatever is being brought to the table, to the conscious mind, there's not one thing that comes up that I cannot alchemize or neutralize with love. Look at with love. That is, and I know that love is like an overused word. It's like, okay, Haley, whatever. But really, what love is like in this aspect, is just having acceptance for it. It's just having acceptance for it because, again, your gnosis, your knowingness, your beingness, your isness knows that it's not even a part of you anymore. It's trying to leave, right? So, we want to acknowledge and love it and understand why. Um, so now let's go into the exercises. The first few are probably going to be a little bit more logical based, which might help you, but I want you to know that this is more of a feeling thing. I mean, it's a full moon, right? The moon is emotion. So we can do some logistical or logical things, but this is about feeling into it. And guys, give it the space that it deserves. This is not a quickie in the back of a car or in the back of a restaurant or whatever have you that we're just going to get it quick and done, right? Give it the time that it deserves. And not because, but really only for the reason that you deserve the time. You deserve the time. In the future, you deserves that time, right? Because this is on the other side of this full moon and all this like density. There is fucking magic. There is fucking magic on the other side. But the amount of magic that you can take in and receive is directly correlated to how much you are willing to let go. Okay. And you only let go through that love, compassion, patience, acknowledgement, acceptance, knowing that it is not yours anymore. Okay. It's almost like we want to like look at it as these are just regular neurosynaptic connections that fire most often, and that is it. Like it takes all of the emotion out of it, puts more of the science-based factual aspect to it, and then it's like, okay, well, I don't want to fire these neurons anymore, so fuck it, right? I'm not engaging with this anymore. But the first exercise is to ask questions. If you need ideas for questions, I'll put a link somewhere. I have a free PDF about getting out of a negative thought spiral with 60 questions on it. So go ahead and check that out down below if you want to. It's free to download. No hooks or no commitments or anything. The reason why questions are so good because really you're already asking yourself questions anyway. So the important thing to be mindful with about questions is that you have to be very intelligent with the questions that you ask yourself. Okay. Because whatever question you ask yourself, your mind will go to answer. It's hardwired that way. So if you say something like, why does today suck so bad? You're going to find all the reasons why today sucks so bad. But if you ask yourself the question that, what are some of the good things that have happened today? Your brain's going to go and find what was good today. So you have to be really mindful of the questions that you're asking yourself. And every time you go through a series of questions, you always want to do it with the end in mind. So like, like kind of connecting it with number two, conversations with the higher self. So this is a practice. I'll give you some ideas in this video for questions in just a second. But like what I do is like when I'm journaling, I have a conversation with my higher self. So it is this question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. And the thing is that the higher self is only allowed to ask me questions. And it is with the end in mind with figuring out what the root belief is. And then once I find out what the root belief is, challenging that belief, asking it, is it really true? Is it highest truth? Is this the way creator sees it? What could be true and said? If I hold on to this belief, what am I choosing to miss out on? If I let go of this belief, what is something that will come into my life, right? So asking yourself really intelligent questions. So let me give you uh like 5 questions, but they're kind of more like 3. So the first question, and I used to have flashcards of these, so maybe you might want to do that for yourself. But a question that I would always ask myself when I was conditioning a new mental state of being for the manifestation of my business and finances and things like that was when something was coming up that I didn't like, or that it was an old story that I was telling myself or about my situation. I would ask, what am I making this mean? Because by doing that, you're identifying the unconscious program that you're running. That's important in order for to change it. Number 2, what could this mean instead? So this is you finding the higher vibrational meaning or definition to what you're going through. And then 3, I would ask, how is this getting me closer to my goal? And this question is important to ask because we are afraid that what we're going through, especially in density or darkness, we're afraid that what we're going through is kind of fruitless. Like, if we don't feel like we're making progress, then it's like, why continue? It's not worth our effort. But asking how this is getting me closer to my goal, even in a question alone without the other 2, even just that question alone is like, wow, that makes it feel like there is more coming because I'm telling you that there is. And also, it gives you a higher vibrational definition to extract from this experience, which will create the experience that you generate or experience. Okay. So to do those questions, um, another question to ask is, what would I have to believe to be true about myself or this situation in order for me to be experiencing that emotion? And then once that belief is identified, then I would go through the challenging that belief and finding out, like, is that really true? And then choosing a new belief. And then the third question I would ask is, what is it that I know that I don't want to know? Hmm. What is it that I know that I don't want to know? That's the thing. Like, I know that I should not have indulged in white cheddar popcorn when I have a vacation coming up in a few days, right? I know that's where I'm at right now. I should not have engaged in eating out when I know I should have saved money. Um, what is it that I know? Like, or like the way that you've been hiding your light. So, how have I been hiding my light? So, what is it that I know that I'm hiding my light in that I don't want to know? Maybe it is that you're not keeping boundaries, or that you're not putting yourself out there on social media when you know that you should be, things of that nature. Okay. What do I know that I don't want to know? I already gave you number 2, that was conversations with higher self in a journal. Number 3, this also gets super overlooked, and it is setting an intention. It's being very intentional about your intentions, okay? And I don't do setting intentions like the regular person does, so let me share this with you too. So setting an intention is not an intellectual experience. It's not just saying, oh, my intention is to be a good person. That is fucking throwing shit to the wind. You might as well have been blowing a dandelion. It's like, ooh, it's just gonna float away. It is actually, to make it more powerful, bringing it in. So let me walk you through an exercise right now. So I always close my eyes and put my hand on my heart and I claim the intention. When by claiming the intention, we are claiming the reality that we want to experience, right? So what is my intention for what I'm about to do? Now, this is the where the emotional integration happens, okay? How do I want to feel when it's over? Again, by doing this, you are sending electromagnetic energy vibrations that communicate to the universe what it is you want to feel when it is over, therefore making it more likely in the quantum to happen, which therefore more than likely is going to happen in the world of matter. Okay. How do I want to feel when it's over? And then if there are others involved, I always ask, or I always ask myself, how do I want them to feel when it's over? That is like the most brilliant way to set an intention. I've literally done like hour-long workshops just on that because of how powerful it is. You just got like the surface level stuff. Okay. The fourth part of exercise or survival guide aspect of this is you must find a way to get it out. Whatever it is, you should find a way to get whatever it is out, because where it gets dangerous is when we suppress it and we hold it back and we don't feel it. So yes, that could be like literally sitting there and crying. Like, let's cry, guys. Let's fucking cry. It's okay to cry. Actually, there's a lot of benefits to it. Number one being like literally those are the chemicals of the old self leaving the body. This old biochemistry leaving the body. So each time a teardrop falls, the closer you are to cleansing that belief out of your system. But it could be other things too, because I know that everybody resonates with crying. So like, writing it down, going for a walk, exercising through it, painting through it, right? Cooking through it, healthily, right? We don't want to be cooking, baking all this. I mean, unless, that's on you, whatever you want to do. Um, but finding a way to get it out. Like sometimes it's even just venting to a friend, but find a way to get it out of your system. That's what the whole point of this full moon is to fucking get it out of your system. Okay. Um, and then lastly, doing belief stacks. This is one of my I think this is a very powerful one. And so belief stacks are you write the belief that you want. So they could be used two different ways. So let me explain it to you because like I said, I'm here to serve. I want this video to be short, but I also want it to be super beneficial, like super fucking beneficial. So there's two ways to do belief stacks. There's a belief stack in destroying the belief that you already have, right? And then there's installing the belief further that you want to have. So that would look like, let's say, you have a belief that you're unlovable. So that this belief of I am unlovable is coming up, right? So you would do a belief stack that would be like, all of the reasons why I am lovable, right? That would be like, so then you write down 50 to 100 reasons why you are lovable, or all the times in your life where you have felt actually loved or felt actually seen. Another one would be on that. So like doing the opposite would be like, all of the reasons why the belief I am unlovable is bullshit. And so you're destroying that belief, right? So I would recommend doing those five. So asking intelligent questions, there's a PDF down below, conversations with the higher self, setting those intentions. And I mean like moment by moment, okay? I mean like when you go in to do your quote unquote shadow work or your self-reflective work, setting the intention. What is my intention for what I'm about to do? How do I want to feel when it's over? Right? Doing your workouts, that's amazing for doing before workouts, but before you fucking do anything, before you go to sleep, before you brush your teeth, like just set the intention for the day. And then the last thing I want to say too is that it's so important over these next 2 weeks that you find a morning. I would recommend morning, but if evening works better for you, obviously do as you will. You know what's best for you, right? I'm just giving you ideas. But what's really important is that you find a routine that grounds you. Like you need a few tangible, safe, solidifying, cementing things that help you feel grounded through this process. So maybe in the morning, that's going out for a walk. Maybe in the morning, that's doing a meditation. Maybe in the evening, you write down what you want to experience tomorrow. It's going to fucking benefit you so much if you have a morning routine that sets you up for success that day or the following day. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there because I know that this was a lot. If you wanted to work with me, I offer weekly extremely supreme support on my Patreon. It's spiritual mentorship and coaching for less than $10 a month. And it's not that I'm not worth more because I used to sell programs that were $5,000 a month. I've been doing this for over 12 years. It's really just that I want to help as many people as I can. So even if you're a millionaire and you're like, oh shit, that sounds like a good deal, or maybe you're struggling financially and you're like, I need help, but like everybody costs $100 an hour, which I charge that too with one-to-ones. But this is an opportunity for you to get that weekly support so that you can transform, so that you can transcend, so that you're no longer stuck in the cycle. Because, like I said, one of my specific gifts, besides energy healing, one of my specific gifts is that I can help locate the exact belief that is holding you back and know exactly what to replace it with so that you can move past all of this. Okay, because I want that for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be out there living your soul's mission and purpose. So if you wanted to join that ascending community, go ahead and click on the link below. It's Patreon, $7.77 a month for you to get weekly support. Like, holy shit, that's kind of a no-brainer. But otherwise, make sure to subscribe, hang out. Let's hang out. I'm on Instagram. Come follow me on Instagram. Super active there. And if not, I'll just catch you in the next video, right? Good luck, you guys. Reach out if you need anything. You got this. Remember, the more intense the pain, the greater the clarity that's on the other side. It's happening for you. Good luck.